All right, we're back again. Tire talk, but this time I watched it multiple times, and there's basically I'm the biggest critic to the whole thing. I need to shut up, let these guys talk some more. But one thing we didn't do is even say who the heck we were. So from starting this way, going this way.
Camden Murphy. I drive Bakugan Dragonoid. Do a little bit of everything else in the motorsports world.
Ryan Anderson, just a professional at nothing, and drive Son of a Digger.
Tyler Meninga, driver of the Grave Digger.
Bari Musauer, zombie driver.
So you probably know us if you are even watching this, and this may have heard of us. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to dive in deep behind the scenes. You see, there's an empty chair here. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be there, but he's going to show up anytime now. But basically, we got to recap what happened last weekend. So Houston, we're back in Houston right now. Between shows, last weekend, one show weekend, man, was it a beaut. God, it feels so good. The 2 show weekends are tough, man. Yeah. They suck. There's no way of getting around it. Like we talked about last time, it makes sense in a lot of ways as far as Monster Jam goes, and the dirt and the people are here and everything. But God, it's rough on us, rough on the trucks. And last weekend was one show. Man, I loved it.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
So I'm trying to remember even what happened. What happened last weekend?
I was trying to remember myself, and honestly, I really don't remember.
I remember your
either.
freestyle.
Yeah, your
awesome.
freestyle was wicked. The ending, the little pop up.
That was good. I wanted it to stick so bad, so when I was going up to that thing, I launched it and was trying to get it to stick in the ground, and I wanted it to be like stay there. I was gonna shut it right off. I don't know how I was gonna get out, but I was planning on it. What about you, Tig?
Yeah, obviously my freestyles have been just terrible lately.
Yeah.
I've been breaking a sway bar adjuster every time right at 1 minute in. But I did have like a decent 2-wheel last week. So moonwalked across, tripped it up into a wheelie, and then had a little bicycle action. So
that was nice. So if you're just listening, this is more of a video podcast. We're clipping in footage, photos of everything going on. So I'm going to show you guys what has basically been night terrors for Tyler. This sway bar link, it is basically nothing. But it does a lot for us. It helps keep the truck stable, and when it breaks the sway bar link, it's very hard to notice unless you know what you're looking for. So to 99.99% of the people in the stands, they think Gravedigger just quit. Yeah. But what actually happened was we were shut down by our safety officials, and they won't let us keep going because that thing's hanging down, and they're worried about something happening. I'm not going to give you my full opinion on it because I don't agree. We should be able to still run, man. But it's just one of those safety things. It's hard to talk against it, but it does suck because it makes us look stupid. Basically, I feel like that.
Yeah.
Like I hate it. And our hosts, they're talking about all kinds of other stuff, and they don't all know the trucks like in and out. So most of them don't even catch what's going on. So they're just like, well, all right, Gravedigger's done. And it's like nobody really understands what's going on. So that does suck. There's honestly quite a few things like that.
It's kind of hard to catch it though, like in the moment too. Sometimes, like we'll notice it, but like in the moment.
Yeah, I think it took like 4 or 5 more hits for them to figure out and actually shut me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you see a truck like leaning real bad to the one side,
dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway that you sway bar's probably broken.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's tough. There's quite a few things that are on that like basically list of stuff that we can't run. With broken, like it used to be back in the day, it didn't like the more broken the merrier. Like keep getting it. If the truck will move, you go.
Like even like flat tires and stuff like that. Like somehow I was able to run a little bit longer. But,
there's so with that there's a couple things that go into play with a flat tire. When the tire goes flat, like obviously the tire is going to be ruined anyway. The rim's probably ruined already. Like that you're not trying to save parts, but what does happen is the rim gouges in the ground. And depending on where we're at and what we're doing, like it was in Anaheim that you ran with 2 flats, which probably didn't hurt that it was home Spin Master. So gotta rip. But that field, we do Monster Jam is in between Supercrosses, so that dirt stays in there for months basically. So the grass underneath, like they know it's dead, like it's done, whatever. So they're not worried about it. But a lot of places we go to is live field, and they don't want to damage that grass. And let me tell you something like. Monster Jam gets bent over on that kind of stuff. Like the freaking grass prices, it's insane. One little patch, they'll charge so much money to patch. So it sucks for them. Sucks for everybody. It's not fun. So that's why you'll see us get shut off with a flat tire sometimes, and also too concrete underneath, which is what we're at here. if there's concrete underneath, sometimes they'll shut it off too, just because they don't want to damage. We're like, that's the last thing we ever want to do is any type of building damage, because we're coming to their house to play. We don't want to mess their house up. So it's one of those things. It's we get it, but it sucks.
Yeah, I hate it. I also think that if I have one more sway bar adjuster break, I'm taking them all off.
I'm literally gonna WWE you off the top rope with a sway bar adjuster. Oh God, I've been so antsy about Tyler. I barely remember what I'm doing because I'm watching Tyler. God, yeah, go, and I see a sway bar.
Yeah, I was like last night. Oof, got me again. So this is like third freestyle in a row now.
Yeah, we're on this. So we're in between shows right now.
Yeah.
So last night we did a show.
Sway bar adjuster. So I just walk out obviously pretty frustrated, and Ryan is already frustrated because his truck was about not to make it back freestyle. So I was like, man, I need you to just go out there. And he ripped her. Ripped her.
My truck had, I rolled over, had an awesome two-wheel. Literally almost, I got shut off by the officials, which if you go through the rules, my roll cage hit the ground, pause for a minute. So I was already kind of running on borrowed time at the end of this. But when I was upside down, I knew where I was at. I knew where the position of the truck was, and I rear steered a certain way, hoping to save it, and it started to catch and was guaranteed to be literally the
most.
My God!
Oh, it would have been.
And they, as it caught and was guaranteed to pick itself up back on the wheels, I got cut off, and it was like, but I couldn't even get mad though because they already were letting me. They let me go.
They just teased you though.
I know.
Just a little tease.
And even the tech officials was like, God, that almost was awesome. They were basically saying sorry without saying sorry, but it's one of those things I couldn't be upset because I was already running on borrowed time with them.
Yeah.
But
how about what else? Are we still on last weekend? Or we jumped
No, we jumped on this weekend. We're kind of bouncing all over the place. But I was getting ready to get to, you were talking about me in my truck, and I had to go out there. You wanted me to go out there and tear it up, so I did a two-wheel crash and actually hit the cage pretty good, which is normal. But the jar sometimes it shakes everything up. Well, our EFI system has a big wiring harness and all that stuff. And when they flipped me back over, fired up the truck, just fired up and shut right back off. Wouldn't fire up like it was out of fuel. They dragged me to the back. We primed the fuel system, so thinking maybe I was upside down long enough. It, just caught a little air in the fuel system or whatever. Primed it up, fires, shuts right off. We did that multiple times. Found out that the TPS sensor was messed up. We replaced the TPS sensor twice. Kept resetting it, wasn't reading. We ended up finding that there was a nick in a wire somewhere, and we honestly didn't even find it last night. I was in the truck strapped down with TPS sensor on my Holly screen saying error until halfway through Bari's run. Bari was right before me, and they were just grabbing the wiring harness and just shaking it, and it finally got connected, and all right, don't turn the power off, zip tie it down and go. But when that scenario happens for me, man, I'm like Robo Machine. When I'm going out there and all the crew guys just busted their ass as hard as they could to try to get that thing back going, and then I got to go out there and just kill it for them. So I did put on a pretty.
Yeah, you gave it an 8.5.
Yeah, it was.
I'll give it a 9.
The deal was I didn't. For one, we took the body off because I demolished the body and the body mounts during two-wheel. So we took the body off for freestyle, which is sweet. And when I went out there, I liked having the body on because I wanted to fall off and stuff like that. And I didn't get a good crash in. I still didn't even roll over.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm taking away 1.5 points because
it's pretty filthy.
No crash.
It's pretty filthy.
It was.
It had literally everything.
With the moonwalk.
I just love that they made it out.
Yeah.
I did the longest zombie parade lap ever.
Is that what was going on?
Yeah.
I was wondering what the heck was going on.
Gotcha. He about had a pretty nasty save.
I didn't get to see anything, man. I didn't get to see nothing. No freestyles, at least. I got to watch yours on the TV screen in the back. That was about it. I watched his for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty good one going too.
I caught a part of it.
I missed reverse this week. Couldn't get greedy like I did last week.
Oh, for the moonwalk?
Yeah. Missed it.
Yeah.
About racing this weekend, so I actually took some pictures. I think they did adjust it after practice. So this track is the paperclip, they're calling it, and we have basically you start out, you got to hit a berm, and then you go back out to a normal Chicago style track, which is normal for us. Well,
They tricked us.
They want us to really get in the berm, and like it's a racer's thing. We're gonna take the fastest path, no matter what it may be. So we've kind of been like barely nipping the berm just a little bit, but they want us to really get in it. Like they want us to like hug the berm. So they moved this turning pod that's been there like all the way up to the toe of the berm. So it's like
almost to where you would fall off the back.
And so practice day, I smoked it, and we got to do one pass for practice, and it's kind of a shakedown for the trucks, and also a shakedown for the show and for all the stuff that goes on with music and cameras and all that crap. But either way, I smoked the turning pole, and it sends me straight to the race lane that's like 100 foot in the wrong direction. Like it was bad. So I think almost everybody hit it on practice day. So I think they did move them a little bit.
When I walked in
race
today,
day.
It looks like they even moved them more today.
Really? Well, I didn't notice many people hitting it yesterday.
No, I don't think.
No.
It wasn't bad yesterday. Like which I was probably also like paying more attention. Yeah. But
How about how slick it was for our race?
I'm
telling
for
you.
our race too.
yeah, every the whole time.
Yeah, I guess the one corner was way worse than the other.
So this dirt here is like extreme clay, and I think what's happened is it's got from sitting basically for 2 weeks or whatever, it's got really super compact, and it's got a layer of kind of marbles on top. So when they water it, they fluff it up with these deals on the front of a skid steer. It's called a power rake, and it kind of just barely breaks maybe like the half inch, 3/4 of an inch surface. So the rest of it, the water just sits on top of that hard packed clay like concrete. And we brush away all the fluffy dirt, then we're down on it. It's like concrete, like wet concrete for us. So the racing has been slow this weekend.
Well, like
I love it.
For us, we were first round, and we both kind of slid out a little bit. But then when we raced each other, didn't you? I think you lost in the first corner, right?
Yeah,
you
so
spun out in the first corner.
The turn on
over-rotated.
this side, like closest to the backflip ramp, was super slick.
Oh, it was super slick on this side
Yeah.
too. I over rotated too, and it's
Yeah,
It's
so
like there's sections though they're slicker than others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like the exit of where were parked in front of me.
which was backflip side.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed it was like nice. It had a lot of grip all the way up to literally the exit of the corner,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden just let go.
where you need it to have
Have the
most.
turn, like to make the turn actually. Yeah. I like it. Ryan hates slick dirt. I didn't know this. I figured he liked slick
it's
dirt.
all right. It's all right. I'd almost prefer it to be like a little bit muddy if it's going to be slick, just because then you can really get with it. Like this is like, the truck just won't do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Like you put it in there, your aiming's right, and you gag the throttle, and it just like you're on ice.
I almost lost it again on your side. I don't know if I saw, but I mean, I was literally like the turn pod was here, and I was just literally doing this, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. But yeah, I'd rather have it be like slick all the way around the corners than you have an idea what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Instead of just be tacky and slick.
Yeah, you could definitely, like me sitting there watching everybody race then, you could see that, like on the opposite side where you guys are parked, they'd come in slow and then they'd grab grip because like it was slick and then tacky. You could see the truck move faster.
But last night they did run around with one of the tractors with these ripper teeth down in the ground. So I'm hoping they did the whole track. I only seen them doing one part of it, so hopefully they got that section because that'll help that a lot. Like at least just make it more consistent.
Well, even like after pit party sometimes too, when everybody's walking around for a couple hours, it even packs it down too. So, today's pit party's not as long, but hopefully
well, what about some two-wheel stuff? Let's get into some action here. I want to get something like what
I had to go first because I lost to him first race of the night.
yesterday.
Yes. Had a nice I was trying something that I was doing last weekend, but I want to kind of add on to it. But I did a moonwalk and it kind of messed up. Went out and did a bicycle, and I think
You slowed down and it like whipped around on the sidewall. It was actually pretty cool.
it was pretty far over.
Yeah,
Because
deep.
I was like, this sucker is not coming back. That's what I told myself. I was like, there's no way. And then you had a pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah, because you
When you guys start without me?
man. You guys start without me? Jesus. I can't believe it. We've been carrying this conversation on for like 30 minutes now.
You carried the whole show without me?
Jesus. Okay.
It says 15 minutes.
Yeah. All right. So, our guest is here. Jim Koahler. You guys requested it. Between Jim Koahler and Charlie Palkin were the two most requested people, or basically the only.
Oh, badass.
Man, so let's just get into everything, Jim, right now. I mean, you have been
Jumping
just
Jim, man.
insane this year. I mean,
I don't know. Last year I thought was more insane. This year I had a lot of good insane stuff, but I'm on like this roller coaster and I'm on the bottom run right now. I need to get up the ting 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 so I can
Yeah.
do a little zip. You know what I
Today's
mean?
your day.
Today.
Yeah, honestly,
Today.
I feel like last night was probably the only bad. Not even like bad, but you just crashed early and was, you know.
Yeah, last week when I blew the motor up, that killed me because
Oh,
I wanted to
yeah.
freestyle and really rock it out, and I wasn't able to hit the mini. And it's like 2 weeks in a row now I haven't hit the mini, and it's like, come on, I was lined up perfect, going third because I blew the motor up last week. I'm like, I could get a good score, man. Throw that mini out there, first backflip. You're going to be in the top group, and it's going to have some points. It's going to help you out.
So
Didn't work.
talk
Yeah.
about, like, you blew the motor up last week. Let's talk about in between time.
Yeah, going
What
home.
you had to do to make it back.
So because it was Houston's, I was already going to go home, right?
Yeah.
Unload all the junk that we already junked for the first 4 weeks and load up some cool bodies so the fans get a cool experience again. Load up any extra parts we need and get rid of all the broken stuff. So that was already in the plan. Saturday night, Houston show's over. I'd already had the one motor from Anaheim that spun the bearings, so I had that in my trailer already tore down. So I'm like, I can fix this. Since I'm going home, I'll fix this. Wasn't worried about it because I hadn't blown the other one up, but then Saturday night, Houston, I blew that motor up. So now I'm like, the spare's blown up, the good motor's in the trailer, I'm heading home. Got in a semi, drove straight home. It was a good, probably 21-hour drive.
From Houston to Michigan.
Yeah,
Deep
yeah,
in Michigan.
Deep Michigan,
Never
right,
know what
right.
the weather's gonna be like,
What's that?
and never knowing what the weather's gonna do.
No, but it was beautiful on the ride home, blue sky the whole way, right? It was awesome. Felt awesome. So then I got home, and on my way, I stopped at my engine shop, dropped off the rods so they could recon them. Kept going, got to the house, slept that night, and then unloaded everything and started working on the engine, started loading my body stuff, unloading all the crap. Brad Allen that drives for me, he's driving for another team this year, filling in for some guys. He come by because he's home during the week. He came by, helped me do some paint and body stuff. I got the engine all tore down, all fixed back up, all put back together, new crank, everything good. Loaded that in the trailer, got everything loaded. Well, of course, the Weather Channel's like, hey, it's a giant, world's largest storm, record breaker coming in. I'm like, well, that's the luck I have, right? So I'm like, well, I can't leave till it's that day because I'm still doing stuff and loading stuff, and I made a bunch of shock shafts and a lot of stuff that I had to do and machine stuff. So there was a lot going on for me that week, and I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, and then I had to roll back here. And the 21-hour trip took 31 hours of knuckle gripping, ice road trucking. It was pretty crazy. But to get here and get the motor in, I did miss practice because we were having some issues getting the timing set. I think it was just too many hands in the kitchen, you know what I mean? I'm not sure if the mag head was screwed up or not, but once we got it fired, it runs good. It's a champ. It's ready to rock. I qualified for it for the day, so I'm pretty fast. It's always horrible for me when I qualify good. I had to race like Chucky, which qualifies a little bit better than me. So it's like, dang it, because when I qualified fourth, and then my time for racing Chucky was faster than my qualifying time, but he was just faster, man. He like finds that spot. It's kind of like this guy finds the little niches. You always lay down a good time, and I don't even know who I have. Who win? I think it's Tyler. Actually, I think it's you, bro.
Bring it up on the
Yeah.
phone. No, that's
No,
guest
I got
yesterday.
you.
Bring it up on the
I got
phone.
you.
Yeah.
No, like, but Jim's not even really giving you like. I rode in here Thursday, planning on doing tire talk with Jim, and I look over at Avenger. It has no body and no motor whatsoever, and no Jim in sight. He was not here yet.
I was non-existent, right?
Yeah, I was like,
I was
what?
still ice road
What
trucking.
the hell's going on here? And he comes in. We're getting ready for practice,
Yeah.
drivers meeting and stuff. And what? It was,
So
they're going against
you
him?
have to race Vendetta.
I gotta race Mike.
He has to win his way to race me.
Yeah.
So, him or Vendetta, I get to knock out and then move on to race, I believe, you.
Yeah, if
Him.
you
That's
knock
it.
out whoever you
This
race
one's up
against,
there.
and if I knock out who I'm racing against, I get to see you in the semi.
No, that's not us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Camden.
Oh, it's me and you. Okay.
But yeah,
I'm not scared of any of them because I'm laying down fast passes. I was the first qualifier one of them weeks in Anaheim. I'm laying that stuff down. They need to be scared of me because a guy like me beating them in racing, the world's changing. The planets are aligning.
we love it.
So my favorite part of this whole tour, though, is Ryan goes to the Hoonigan shop and gets Jim the Soonigan shirt. And he said, okay, it's my lucky driving shirt. Does this awesome freestyle, first time wearing the shirt in Anaheim, kills it. Get to Houston though. Get to Houston, Jim puts the shirt on, blows his motor. So we get back in the locker room, Jim's kind of down and out about the night, and I just trying to make him laugh a little bit. I was like, well, Jim, I guess that's just not your lucky shirt anymore. He goes, nope. It's going to be my new work shirt. And he's like, I'm never wearing it again. So then we get here this weekend, sure enough, wearing a different shirt. I was freaking dying.
100%. It's like a superstition, right? I had it. He gave it to me actually. Anaheim was 2 days.
Yeah.
And I took second the day he gave it to me, and I said, this shirt is the ticket. Second freestyle, I'm rocking. And then the next day, I went last and took third, and that was the freestyle you're talking about. So 2 freestyles in a row, a second and a third place with this field is awesome, right? And for me, I'm just one of those stab and grab kind of guys. I let the seat fly. These technical guys, I mean, they're amazing. I can't say enough of how awesome they are. And I'm glad that I started my career back 20 years ago. Because if I started it now, I probably wouldn't be as high up as I am, man, because these guys rock it. But I had a phenomenal run, like Tyler said. It was awesome, and the lucky shirt was lucky. But then Houston, it became unlucky. So now it is a work shirt.
So, but my question is now that
Will it
you had a different shirt on last night.
I did.
So are you just going to go shirtless tonight?
I should go shirtless.
should go-
I really should go shirtless. But the problem is, if I do really good, then I got to go shirtless all the time. It's not the greatest look. When I was younger, it might have been okay. I'm a little older now. It's
I'm
not.
not under the suit.
Yeah. No, obviously you have to wear the suit.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You can't go totally bare-chested out there.
You should get
kinda
a fire
weird.
suit. You should get a fire suit that is like that.
Printed of yourself.
Yeah, that would be a flesh-colored fire suit. That would be cool.
So your body this weekend, I mean, America.
Yeah.
And that's the actual one that you rocked out in World Finals, right?
Yeah, the sides and parts of the front clip, because the roofs had gotten ruined, so that's been replaced, and the deck lid's been replaced, and the center section of the hood's replaced. But we painted it up to keep the thing going. The sides look exactly World Finals 20 in 2019. That was the body I ran down there in Orlando.
Your World Finals paint jobs have like always been my absolute favorite. Like every one of them.
Yeah, well,
is the best.
I'm bringing them out, man. I'm pulling them, not all of them, but I'm pulling a lot of them out. I got a lot of surprises. I got a couple for Anaheim because we're doing 2 more shows there, and I want to be different for the shows. You know, they already seen the green. Let's show something else, and that might change my luck too. Who knows? And then when we get to East Rutherford, I got a cool one I'm pulling out. So we're just gonna keep mixing it up.
When are you gonna do some huge ass Jim Koahler air?
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for it.
I'm kind of waiting for it too, but like what I need to do, I really need to focus today. Lay down a solid run, do the 8-pack early, because I go out first today, so I'm really setting the bar for everybody. Okay, so I need to hit the 8-pack, land that, and then go for the Jim Koahler air. That is what it needs to happen. That is what needs to happen.
Actually, I want to. So this is a video podcast thing. So we're clipping in all the pictures and videos if you're just listening. But I took some pictures of the track and the 8-pack. So the 8-pack this weekend, and it seems to be a little bit every time. It's not quite even.
It's never even.
Yeah, it's
I
never
like that.
really even. It is cool as long as it works out right. You know?
Even if it doesn't, it's
doesn't
still
care,
kind of
man.
cool. I don't care. When we're
Yeah,
fiberglass is no big deal to me.
Yeah,
I did it. I hit it. I'll hit it if I have a flat tire. If I don't, whatever. The normal backflip to me, I can't master that one, so, and it's plain to me. Some people make it look awesome and they land it perfect, but for me, every time I try it, if I land it or over-rotate it, the truck stays perfectly square. I want to do something that's, I'm almost thinking hitting my rear steer when I'm going up the thing, just to see what it'll do, just to kind of make a twist, because then it's like something that you're gonna, have to try to drive out of, and for me, that's excitement. I don't do this for anything more than my thrills, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm out there having fun. So if I see an obstacle yesterday, which took me out of freestyle early, was one I should have saved till after I did the 8-pack, but it's like I'm hitting a face of this jump and a face of this jump. One's steep, one's not, so it's gonna send the truck on some crazy thing. And I want that because I want to be able to do it and maybe catch a crazy thing, and it puts you in a cartwheel, that puts you back on your wheels. That's what wins this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so ready for you just to turn all the way loose. You've been getting wild this year. Like I was talking about it last week in last week's episode. Was you absolutely refuse to to like, okay, take it easy on this jump to jump the next jump. No, jump to the face of the next jump.
Yeah.
Case you cased so much, and he just takes it.
The truck takes it. My old body takes it. It seems to work pretty good. I mean, last night I was watching some pretty good jumps from the sides towards the center pod, and it would look pretty awesome to me. And that's what I'm striving for. I just need maybe to go a little harder than what I've been doing to get that extra, so I don't quite case it. I kind of just clip maybe and get a flip up or something. I don't know.
I want to see you get a nice little stoppie. And
I can't wait for you to get
wait.
your like first really badass moonwalk.
Yes.
But that's the thing. See, I think if I get a badass moonwalk, the place, I mean, if they know this, I'm not known for that, so they'll be like, holy crap, and they'll be throwing up 9.9 shit. Exactly.
Actually, give you 11.
He's got the best score ever because that's not what they're used to. And I made that decision this year. I'm not in the points chase. I knew I would never really was. I never really care about points. To me, I'm out there, like I said, living my thrills, having a good time, and running with you guys is awesome. To have guys that were fans of mine before they could drive, and now I'm driving with, and it's awesome. I love it. I think it's the greatest. You guys pump me up, fire me up. Running with you is awesome. So for me, I get 2 chances to do a skills, right? I'm going to try a nose wheelie every weekend from here on out, whether I suck at it or I can rock it. I'm going to keep doing it till I learn that technique that you guys are doing. And I think I'm just not calm enough when I go to do it. I'm too amped up and like too ready to do something or not do something or not get the brakes right. But I'll get it figured out. By the end of the season, I will have that figured out. And then I give the second one, I try to give a good sky wheelie, which for some reason this year I don't even have that in my mojo because I'm rolling over backwards every time. So I got to get on my grid. I got to get it figured out. That's for sure.
I think on the note when you're talking about like when I was growing up watching you as a little kid,
Right.
like all of us really
Right.
for the most part. That brings me to almost that picture that we found.
100%, dude.
So we'll show you the picture. So I was digging through pictures. I think it was Christmas this year, and I come across this one of an event at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont. What was it called then? What was it? What's Allstate called? The Horizon Center or something? Horizon
I thought it was always. I always called it Rosemont.
Okay, all right,
That's
yeah,
terrible.
Rosemont. All right, anyway. So
It's a show you don't want to have.
yeah,
It's like the most shows in one weekend.
Right.
Oh,
It's
sucks.
just, it's hard. It's because the building is laid out the way it is. You got to pull outside.
Yeah.
They made it better because they put a tent there and you can pull in a tent. But like usually it's 30 below zero when they do the show, and it's just horrible.
Let's say, yeah, so cold. So I found a couple pictures. It was one with Jim, another one was Tom Mintz, another one was Dennis, and I think it was like Bulldozer or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the other one was, but I sent it to all of them. I was like, man, this is so cool. Like, I was a little kid, it's awesome being able to do all this now. Very incredibly humbling. It's awesome. So I sent it to him, and he's like, you know what? I actually have a picture of that same exact moment on the other side of the arena.
Yep. From a
And
different fan.
I swear to God, it is literally the same exact moment. Jumping a bus, or no, jumping a van,
stack,
jumping a
yeah.
van stack. He is in the middle of a sky wheelie. I take the picture, and then he's got this fan picture, and it's the exact same moment. You can see me in the stands in the fan picture. It is so cool.
Yes.
We'll show it to you here, but like, I don't know. To me, that's so freaking cool that now I get to hang out with him and driving against him and stuff like that too. It's I don't know. It's awesome. As a little kid, I always thought he was like crazy wild, and he is.
I gotta. We are running out of time. We only got like another 10 or 15 minutes, but so I gotta get on this though. My favorite Jim Koahler memory of all time.
All right.
I don't even remember where the heck it was. I wasn't even there, but it was the S10 square body truck,
Okay.
and I think it was racing, and you crashed from one end of the stadium to the other, and there was onboard. I could only imagine how big the onboard camera was
New Orleans.
back in Nam.
New Orleans,
And your specs flew off your face, and he's he's like a rag doll.
I know what
Was.
you're
Oh,
Well, the seats
God.
we had back then didn't have head containment. They didn't fit you. They were made of bungee cords or some kind of fabric. It was pretty rough, and I did flop around pretty good. It was like, how did your neck move that much? And all you had is a neck collar. And I still, for racing and skills, that's all I wear is my neck collar because it keeps the neck muscles tight. But freestyle, you gotta have the head and neck restraints.
Yeah.
And kids out there watching it. The head and neck restraints when you're riding your pedal bike aren't necessary, but a helmet maybe, I don't know.
My favorite Jim Koahler moment of all time. So my dad was doing like club help stuff, you know, like hanging the banners and stuff since like year 2000. Well, I'm like 5 years old maybe. Jim comes to Des Moines, breaks a wheel off, gives me a lug nut and a piece of the truck, right? So we get like come out here, 2 years ago or so was our first show together in an arena.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I was telling him about all that. So it was like a hometown show for me. I'm like talking to everybody that was there, last one in the locker room. He had cut out a piece of his World Finals body and wrote on it, "To a big fan that I'm a fan of." And I was like, dang it. I was like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was a good story. Your dad actually came up to me.
Oh,
He goes, "Do you remember this?" And he showed me like the lug nut and that. And I'm like, man, I don't 100% remember. And he's like, "You gave this to my son," and he's going on, and I didn't know that was your dad at the time. Because you gave this to my son when he was young, and he's a big fan of yours. And I'm like, awesome, dude, this guy's cool. He's got a son. Well, tell your son thanks. And he goes, "You know who my son is?" I'm like, "No, it's just Tyler." I'm like, you're shitting me. I'm like, you're shitting me. The kid's amazing out there, and he's a fan of mine. So I was like, yeah, if he's a fan of mine, that something like that is something I know he'll cherish. And that's why I wrote it that way, because, dude, if I'm a fan of yours, and you're a fan of mine, it's totally awesome. It's all it's not scripted. That's real life, man. It's totally real life.
Yeah.
Bari?
Man, I got a Jim Koahler moment that it was a story from World Finals when I think it was the black and white body.
Could have been.
And we were lined up for a freestyle, and it was a story you were telling after the fact.
Oh, yeah,
And they were going to give you an oar to hand out to a fan, because that was when we were still rolling into the seats after freestyle to give stuff away. And they said, "All right, I'm going to hand you this oar after your freestyle." Well, he said before he even went, somebody came out to the truck with the Sawzall and chopped a piece of the body off from. He's like, "What kind of oar is this? This is not proper."
I didn't know what he was doing. I'm sitting in there. You're in that Thunder Alley, and you're psyched. You're trying to psych. You're watching the guy get crazy air and do crazy stuff, and you're trying to zone out. And sometimes you get other drivers that are, come out and pump you up a little bit, and that's cool. But then all of a sudden you're just, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm screaming, top of my lungs, but you got your helmet on, you guys know, can hear you.
Yeah.
And the guy's making, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And then it's like, nobody said anything, and now it's the guy's like, "It's your turn to go." And I'm like, what? I don't even know if I have a truck back there. What's going on? It was crazy, dude. It was insane. My favorite with Bari, though, is like, we were somewhere, and I had to race him, and his dad was there. And you got the best of me that day, and his dad was like, "See, my boy, yep." But then there was another day I was like, every time I race Bari, I'm like, "Hey, if I beat him, I'm like, call your dad. Call your dad." His dad's cool, man. Totally
If you've
cool.
ever wondered what it's like behind the scenes at Monster Jam, this is exactly how it is.
Yeah.
We're just sitting around laughing all
It's
day
a lot
long.
of good
like,
memories,
all
for
day.
sure. A lot of good fun stuff.
All we do is we try to make each other laugh. Like, we're constantly just trying to one up each other, saying that whatever the craziest next thing is to make everybody laugh. But Jim cracks everybody up because he's just insane. Like, his everything he speaks is gospel. I mean, it's like, write it down. It's a new Bible.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. Amen, brother.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, tonight we're doing it again. We're getting wild again. I'm ready to get wild. I went streaking last night, no body, for freestyle. It was cool.
Yeah, it was totally awesome.
But
You laid it
tonight
down.
I think Tire Talk's going to bring you some good luck, and you're about to get buck wild out here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Dude.
We're all here for you, Jim.
100%.
We're all here for
I think the bad thing about you going out there with no body on is now your truck is the body installed in the pit.
Yeah.
So you got stuck with that part instead of Soldier of Fortune. You got to have to deal with the body install.
We've talked about it a couple times. So we're short on crew members, and a lot of our crew guys are new. And last week we talked about stuff going on during pit parties. Like Monster Jam's going to have to accept it. Like, we're going to need that time. Actually, Tyler's getting a knuckle changed right now. Like, we need to be going to pit party in 12 minutes. That was Jim's alarm. Ooga! Old man, that's time for pit party. That's Craig Champion.
Craig Champion.
What's he got to say?
Craig Champion, what's up? I'm live on the internet, bro. A snout?
Oh my God, a blower snout? I can hear him.
Regulation.
Yeah,
we have to check the
we
trailer.
got 12 minutes before pit party, but
we do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'll be there in a minute.
Tyler's getting a knuckle changed right now
Yeah.
during the show. My truck's got to get a body installed. I don't know what you're
You just said
doing.
a blower snout. It's blowing my mind. I don't know. We got a blower snout bad. We were just at Littlefield. We could have picked up some more goodies. But
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we're going back. Anaheim.
Yeah, totally going back.
Yeah.
Let's switch some
I'm
other
staying
stuff
out between too, so we got to do some screwing. I want to do some grilling
Some grilling.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
for sure.
Awesome.
But all right, well, tonight we're gonna rock it out. I think my computer just died. No, we're good. We're gonna close it out. Thank you guys for listening. Let us know what you want to see next. What do you want us to talk about? All that stuff. Leave it in the reviews. Tell us how awesome Jim is. If you say anything different, get the hell off the podcast.
You know what? I'll tell you. They can get their hats and T-shirts at AvengerRacing.com. That's where you go.
That's right.
Or you can hit up Team Scream Instagram and, hit us
Follow.
up.
Yeah.
Follow us.
Always.
That's awesome, dude. For sure.
Thank you guys. Next week. See ya. Woo!